Hello, thank you for watching the replay of my recent webinar, Manifest, Embody, Act. My name is Elena Kovanchak from Optimat Living and Grow Embody Thrive Coaching. I hope you enjoy the webinar. The name of my webinar today is Manifest, Embody, Act. And this is one more framework that I do use in my coaching program. So before we begin, I wanted to ask you something. Looking at this picture, because I chose this picture on purpose, I found that it depicts perfectly the intention behind my webinar today. Have you ever been in a situation where potentially you have you're about to take a step, you know what you would like to do, you've manifested your desire, maybe you even set the goals, but yet the moment you want to act, you freeze. Maybe you don't feel like it. Maybe there is a bit of a gap before we can take that action step. And it could be as small as, I want to go to the gym tomorrow, and while I'm making this intention today, tomorrow it may not or may happen. So even in this picture, we can think about the person in the picture. They may be not scared of heights. They might know exactly what they want to do, yet when they come to that edge, they might freeze, they might stop. Are they going to take an action? What's going to make that decision? So the missing link would be how we feel, and are we, in this case, physically able to do this? So I wanted to bring your attention today to this missing link. We can set as many intentions, but if we skip the body part, the being in the body, feeling our emotion in the body, the action may or may not happen. So tonight is not going to be about how we can manifest harder, how we can write more and more intentions, how we can maybe hustle more to get into the action. It's definitely also not going to be about being hard on ourselves when we do stall and we procrastinate and we might be just not having that enough feeling or enough energy to go forward. Instead, we want to focus on finding that missing link and connecting with it. So in tonight's webinar, we're gonna cover the reasons why motivation on its own fades if we skip the body. Put it simple, it's just not gonna happen. If we freeze at that edge, we're not gonna take that jump. If we do not have enough energy, we're not gonna take the jump. However, what can we do? The good thing is that the body is always with us. It's always there, it's always available, and it's amazing, almost like a compass that shows us exactly how we feel about something, what are our energy resources, and it helps us to make that shift, because we can work with it to shift from that I don't feel like it towards let's go in a matter of minutes. So today, I just realized that I've been looking towards you, Jay. Today, we're gonna focus on also trying a 5-minute daily practice that I would like to share with you to support you, to keep going, to keep moving towards your goal, towards those steps that you want, towards achieving what you want. And make sure that you stay till the end of the presentation for a special giveaway that I want to share with you. So let's go. So we have probably been in this situation. We have manifested. Maybe you have done vision board in the past. Maybe you have written lots of different journaling prompts, created your to-do lists, and yet you might not start feeling like it. I definitely have been in that situation. I am definitely not gonna say guilty, but I have been there. And perhaps maybe you've also been in a situation where you have started doing things, taking steps, you have created that beautiful momentum, and then maybe life happens. Maybe you get sick, maybe something changes your routine, you fall off. You fall off the wagon, and then you struggle to get back into it. I definitely have been there as well. And here you have also a little picture of the crystals and the moon rituals, which I have absolutely nothing against because I like my rituals as well. But then again, on its own, they might not necessarily help you to take that next step. So the truth is, quite often, we might be waiting to feel like it. And you may have heard lots of different people saying that you can't wait to feel like it because it's just never going to happen. You just have to do it. Because otherwise, it's like waiting for, let's say, maybe a dinner to cook itself, or I have this picture of the laundry basket waiting for laundry to fold itself. It will require action. So the action does need to happen. What do we do though to make it happen? How can we support ourselves through the body? So here is the truth, that when we manifest, when we plant an idea in our mind, we have an idea, we have our intention, but we can't really necessarily plan the momentum, because momentum means action, momentum means energy. And this is where the body comes in. Because quite often we speak about, when we hear manifesting, it is about intention setting, or it is about the right mindset. But the mindset without your physical body cannot really make things happen. And let's face it, some days you might be waking up with lots of energy and you're all feeling empowered and motivated and ready to go. You just lit up, literally. But then other days might be fatigue, can't be bothered, you procrastinate, you start second guessing, is that really the thing that I want? Maybe I should just keep it all together. So the truth is that we can't order motivation like a next day delivery through Amazon Prime or whichever. I have this picture of the box with a, I wish this was a motivation delivered package. We can't do that. And maybe we can again use an example of the gym. I can decide to go to the gym tonight, but whether or not I'm going to go to the gym, that's going to be decided tomorrow morning. How can we order that motivation? Well, we can, but the order needs to be placed within us in the body. And let's have a look how. So I've created a little bit of a diagram here in case if you like myself and you like visuals. So we have our manifester, we have a person embodying it in a beautiful yoga pose. Doesn't have to be yoga pose, but I think looks very nice. And then we have a person running, depicting action. So the missing link between manifest and action is the embodiment, or being in the body. Because the thoughts are very powerful, but it's your emotional and I would say your energetic and physical state that will determine the quality of your fuel. Because when your body is fatigued or overwhelmed, the action might feel impossible, or it might not be the best action that you can produce. And if that's okay, I'll share a little story with you, which is actually, it's a story of my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, that she shared with me before. So once she was doing her homework and she was struggling and getting frustrated. And when I asked her afterwards about it, she said to me, well, Mom, I actually wish I had listened to my body. She used those terms. And I said, well, how so? And she said, well, if I had listened to my body, I would have realized that I am hungry, I am cold, I'm sitting all hunched up. And then when I would have realized that, I would have looked around and noticed that the window is actually open. The cold air is coming in. I didn't notice. So here she was, trying to work away, all hunched up because she's cold, because she's hungry, and then obviously getting frustrated and angry. So all the not so much resourceful states, and I'm not going to go into the resourceful states today, but you get the picture. So a 14-year-old recognized it by herself that listening to the body would have given her a far better result, because she would be present. She would put all of the missing puzzle pieces, like here, there might be several ones, but you say, okay, I can maybe get a drink of water. Maybe I need to eat a snack. Maybe I need to put a jumper on or close the window. So this is how embodiment works. So it works you can even say in two ways. And again, I'm not going to go too much in detail today, but you can think about it as you are linking yourself towards your state. And then at the same time, you can add the resources that you need to add. So the embodiment, being in the body, being present, because one way to describe embodiment is also to be fully present. it helps you to shift into the ready mode, and not just the ready mode from the point of action, but the quality of the action. It's going to define the quality of the action as well. Why the body matters. We quite often forget, we quite often take our body for granted. But everything that we do from the moment we wake up is decided by our body. I love this picture because it shows our, you can say, energetic system, but there's so many things that the body is doing on its own without sometimes our support. And sometimes we need to stop and listen. I like to think of our body as a vase or a container of energy. We can also think about it as an engine. So when we're running on the low, then there is very limited amount of action steps we can take, but also the quality of those action steps might be not great. So sometimes we might, and I'm not going to go too much about it, but self-care becomes really important, and that's one of the pillars of my coaching strategy, because self-care just becomes a maintenance for our body. But today we're going to just think about the body as this resource that we can connect with for our action. So the way we feel, our nervous system will set the tone for our action, because we can act from a stressful state. You're going to get one result. You can act from a calm state, might be completely different result, or might be same result, but how much resource will it take from you versus your angry or stressed state. So the embodied state, or when we're connected to the body, gives us two things. So one is the clarity. One is that we can connect and say, okay, what is it? What is it that I need right now? Sometimes that clarity even comes from the point of, well, what do I need to do? Because how many times have we been completely overwhelmed and not knowing what the next step is? And that step back, connecting to the body, bringing your nervous system into the calmer state can give you that sense of clarity, because then it's easier to see when you're allowing your things to settle, to see your next step forward. And then it also supports you to build your energy. It supports you to build your energy in terms of how can I be more resourceful towards my next task. So our intention is also to be the energy of our goal now in the moment. Because the action itself, as we determined, will be done in the now. It's not tomorrow morning, it's going to be right in the moment when you need to take a step off that edge towards your action. And it's important to have that connection, to have that energy ready, because then the action itself will feel natural. It's not going to be forceful. When you feel like it, when you make yourself feel like it, it's going to be a natural to take that next step. So choose how you want to feel. Sounds amazing. I hope you're excited. How do we do that? Well, today I want us to try a very, very simple practice. It's called somatic practice, essentially embodiment or in the body practice. And good news, you don't need anything fancy, just your body. And you can feel free to be seated, or if you prefer another time, you can be standing. If you would like to take a stand right now, you can as well. You don't necessarily need to look at the screen. I'll give you a heads up that the steps a little bit more detailed will be shared in a giveaway that I'm going to be giving at the end of this. But I would like you to take a moment right now. So if you prefer to be seated, stay seated. If you would like to stand up, you can stand up. Just take a moment to feel the connection of your feet through the ground. Sometimes it might feel nice to roll from the heels towards the toes. If it's not applicable to do it, you can just imagine that your feet are connected to the ground. Feel supported. And then bring attention towards your breath, and perhaps you can place one hand on your abdomen if that feels comfortable, or just bring your attention towards it and take a deep breath through your nose. Feel your lungs, feel your belly, and then take an exhale through the mouth if it feels comfortable, maybe even with a sigh. And just take maybe 2 more breaths like this at your own pace. So breathing in, feel the lungs, feel the belly, and exhale, breathe out. And just do 1 more. And breathe out. And then from this state, I invite you, if it feels comfortable, to start making any almost micro movements. Maybe a little bit of a shaking. Maybe it could be turning your head side to side. Just notice as you start moving, maybe you will notice there is some kind of a tension in the jaw. You might even open and close your mouth. Feel free to do any sort of little movements with the arms, the hips, the legs, whatever will feel that the more you listen to the body, the more the body might start communicating to you and saying, well, this is how I would like to be moved right now. So just take a few more moments here. So we want to create that sense of safety. We want the body to feel safe, to feel seen and feel safe, to move the way it wants to be moved. And from here, if it feels all right, I would like you to bring your attention to be more still, and then invite you to imagine yourself as a person, as a version of yourself that is ready to take those steps towards your goal, whatever that goal might be. Connect to the person, the version of yourself that is ready to start taking steps, that is about to take that step, or perhaps is already there, already achieved that goal. How would you feel? How would that version of yourself stand? What would be their posture? How would they breathe? Make any adjustments. Maybe you might sit or stand taller. Maybe you can open your chest a bit more. Maybe your breaths a bit deeper. And from that place, I invite you to ask yourself a question. If I were this version of me right now, what is one step? What is one step that I could do? What could I do as that version of me that's already taken action? And feel free to take a moment to reflect. Feel free to take a moment to write down. And maybe also notice that bit of a shift of the energy, just ever so slightly, in this little practice. So in order for us to start taking action, the embodiment of the emotion and the physical readiness needs to happen first, and then action will follow second. And feeling like it often comes after you start. And the best thing about it is, as you start taking those small actions, you start to feel more and more like the person who is building momentum, who is doing it. So then taking actions becomes easier. Each time you take an action, each time you connect more to the version of yourself that's moving towards your goal. And those small, consistent actions, they build over time, they compound over time. So you continue to take those steps like this boy on this beautiful staircase. And then the question also comes, well, what happens when we get off track? Because it does happen. Life gets in the way. growth isn't linear. So we can reset and get back to it. And there is one more little practice that I want to share with you now. I call it a quick guide to remember your why, or your 3 questions. And they work to get back into action. They also can work for you to sometimes reset the goal, or they can even work when you are trying to figure out what you need in order to get yourself into that more resourceful state for the body, for the mind. So the first question is the why question. Say you feel overwhelmed, you're not sure where to begin again, or where to begin. Ask yourself why. Why is this goal, why is it important to me? Find the reasons within you. Start that process again, dropping back into the body. Then the second question comes, how? How will I feel when I achieve it? Even if it's just a little step towards it, how will you feel? So bringing yourself back towards that embodiment, back to connection towards your future self. And then from there, the action might start to become more natural, because you're going to start asking yourself, well, what can I do? What can I do now towards that goal? Just 3 questions. You can use anytime, whenever you feel overwhelmed, stuck, not sure how to get back into it. So life continuously will happen. Life continuously happen. The growth is non-linear. So what do we do? Because the more we go forward, quite often we set the goals that more challenges, we enter in more and more into the unknown. So we might need to have some extra support. How can we get more support with embodiment? I'm not going to talk about my programs today, because this is not the place. I wanted to share the value. I just wanted to briefly mention that yes, as an embodiment, as a somatic coach, I do have coaching programs to support, as well as free Facebook group that I'm running, as well as weekly online meditations and some free resources that can support that embodiment practice. But more importantly, I wanted to share with you what I wanted to offer to you today, to say thank you for your time during the session today and watching it in recording. So the gift that I want to show you, the first gift is the embodied action map that I have created, which has some of the information that I have shared with you right now. And most importantly, it has the quick 3-step daily body check-in, as well as quick journal prompts and the action tracker. Because the saying is that it takes at least 7 days in order for the new habit to kick in. So as my support to you, the micro action tracker has 7 days in there with some of the prompts, with some of the reminders for you to maybe to do for the embodiment check-in, as well as some of the questions. And it also has the free questions, the guide back to Thrive there as well. So I'll share the link at the end so you can download it. And the second special offer that I wanted to mention is an opportunity to work with me one-on-one that I'm currently offering for free. So that is my 5-day coaching program, Embody Empower, that you're invited to join with me, where we will work individually with you, and I can support you to perhaps build those routines. Because no matter what the goal is, the bigger the goal, the bigger the challenges, and I am happy to offer my support towards you for you to reach those goals. I want to say thank you for being here today, for listening to my class, for also watching this on recording. I'll share the links after I finish recording in the chat. However, if you're missing it, or if you're watching the replay, by all means, please contact me so I can share with you those links to download the guide. If you are not yet part of my Facebook group, join my Facebook group. The meditations there are every Tuesday night, and I also share some more resources. And please also get in touch if you would like to book a call and discuss that option to work with me one-on-one for free that I'm currently offering. I hope to hear from you soon.